Hi, sixth graders. We're back with Granted, chapter 24. Thea has herself in a gigantic fairy mess. I have no idea how she's going to get out of this. Her wing's broken. Her acorn that has the emergency button is lost. She doesn't know where the coin is located to grant the wish. And she's kind of gotten herself into this angry, frazzled state, which is not a good state to be in when you need to think clearly. I think all of you know, when you need to think clearly, you need to be calm. And when we get into this angry frenzy, it doesn't help. So that's where she is. She's in the alleyway, crying. Chapter 24, page 141. There are legends of humans who mistakenly ventured into the realm of fairies. They usually don't end well. Sometimes the humans are turned into reeds or pansies. Sometimes they are turned into smoke. Most of the time, they are simply driven mad and sent back to their village or town to be locked away in a hospital or a sanitarium where men in white coats write down all their gibberish about little flying people and the beautiful music they play. They aren't true, these stories, not most of them anyway. There are whispers carried by the wind, invented by the fairies themselves to prevent humans from venturing too close. A scare tactic that has worked for centuries. Of course, there are also stories, recent stories, of fairies who have stayed too long in the human world. Those never end well. And unfortunately, most of them are true. Thea might have stayed there forever, right in that exact spot by the flattened can, if it weren't for the loud bark that startled her and caused her to spin. In the alley, only 10 feet away, stood a mangy-looking, golden-haired mutt who had somehow padded up without Thea noticing. She didn't know much about dogs. They weren't exactly roaming the wild beneath the havens, unless you counted the coyotes she sometimes heard braying, or the occasional red wolf on the prowl. And the archives considered them a relatively low threat to fairies in general, on account that the fact that they could neither fly nor climb trees. She knew just enough about dogs to identify the slobbering beast in front of her as one. With its dolorous brown eyes and its tongue hanging limp out of one side of its mouth, the creature didn't look half as cunning or clever as either wolf or coyote. But it knew how to talk, and because she was a fairy, Thea knew how to listen. "Hello," the dog said cheerily. "I think I would like to eat you." "Oh, really?" she thought. Thea's hand dropped to the curved wooden handle of her knife. She took 3 steps back, careful not to corner herself against the wall. "You try, and I swear I will carve my way right back out of you," she barked back. Maybe that was a little harsh. Technically, all of nature's creatures were sacred and precious and whatnot, but this mound of matted fur had caught her at an extraordinarily bad time, and she wasn't messing around. The mutt's dripping tongue retreated back into his mouth, and he barked a little softer this time. "Okay, I will not eat you. Instead, maybe I could chew on you some and then find a nice hole to put you in." He said it like he was presenting a suitable counteroffer, hoping she might agree. He took a tentative step toward her, but froze when she hissed at him. "I'm not kidding, dog. You have no idea what kind of day I'm having. You take one more step and I will totally split you in half." Actually, Thea wasn't sure she could if she tried. She wasn't exactly in sparring shape, but it wasn't as if she could just fly away either. And she couldn't outrun him, not in her current condition. Her only choice was to stand her ground. The dog cocked his head sideways, but didn't come any closer. "You are very strange," she said, panting now. "You are not a bird. At first I thought you were a bird, but birds do not talk like you. They are squawky, and you are not squawky. Plus, your beak is too short and you don't have any feathers and you're pink and blue. And I've never met a bird that is pink and blue before. So since I don't know what you are, I'm hoping to sniff your butt. Althea choked. Excuse me? Oh, it's okay. I will let you sniff mine too, the dog said encouragingly, looking behind him and wagging his tail to indicate where his was located, in case you didn't know. Althea's face contorted in disgust. No, no. Nobody is sniffing anybody's butt. If you could please just go away. I have some serious prob. You are small, the dog interrupted. Althea looked at him with raised eyebrows. There is a squirrel I used to chase by Master's house. She was bigger than you, but very fast. I do not think you would be as fast, but I think I would still like to chase you anyway, the dog added. Althea put one hand up again in protest, the one not gripping the handle of her knife. Okay, dog, listen carefully. You're not eating me, you're not sniffing me, and you're certainly not chasing me. I'm not going anywhere, not yet. I have to figure out which way. Chase is my favorite game. It works like this. You go and I chase you. It is the best. Althea slapped her forehead. What an idiot. He was worse than the goose. She didn't have time for this. She turned back toward the street and the cars passing by, concentrating again, listening for the wish. The dog's sudden intrusion had snapped her out of her funk, forced her to try to get a hold of herself. She wiped her cheeks with one torn sleeve. The mission wasn't over. She couldn't call for backup, and the wish was out of range. But there were still several talks left in the day. If she could somehow pick up the trail of Kasara's voice, locate the white car, maybe find a way to fix up her wing, at least temporarily, then maybe. Did you get kicked? Althea turned back to the mutt, who was still staring at her. What? No, I didn't get kicked. What makes you think I got kicked? You said you had a terrible day, the dog explained. Althea paused to take in this creature a little more closely. She could see some scratches along his ear now and a swollen spot on his side. A mark on his snout looked like it had healed long ago, but it left a firm reminder. Okay. No, I didn't get kicked, she said softly, but just nearly run over, and I've got this. She turned slightly so he could see her busted wing. Oh, you are broken, the dog said. Yeah, I guess so. It's not terrible, but I can't really fly. I don't think so. You are broken. I will lick you. What? Althea panicked as the giant panting beast came toward her. No, wait! But it was too late. The dog's meaty, sticky tongue rolled out of its mouth like a fat pink carpet. She didn't even have time to draw her knife before she was slimed, a trail of saliva running down the front of her suit, which was already soaked in white foam and blue spritzy stuff. Stop! Cut it out, all right? I don't need your stinking dog spit all over me. The dog scooted back a little, panting, clearly pleased with himself. Don't you feel better? He asked. No, I don't feel better. Now I'm broken and gross. What did you have to eat last? Your breath smells awful. Oh, for breakfast, I had a thing on the side of the road, the dog said thoughtfully. I think it might have been a possum. It was not very good. Althea fought down the urge to retch. She did her best to wipe the dog spit from her face. You do not taste very good either, the dog admitted. Sorry to disappoint you, Althea snipped. She felt all over disgusting now. She needed to get out of this flight suit. It wasn't doing her any good anyways. She obviously wasn't heading back home anytime soon. She began to undo the buttons, easier since one of them was broken already, and peeled off the shiny, slimy, foamy, dead thing on the side of the road smelling outer layer, being especially careful pulling it free from around her broken wing. She let the pink suit crumple into a pile at her feet. For a moment, she considered burying it, hiding it, but any human who passed by would surely see only a scrap of dirty fabric. Maybe a bird would make it into nesting material. When she was done, she felt a twinge better, like snakes must feel sloughing off an old skin. She touched her hand to the vial nestled above her heart. At least she hadn't lost that. The dog was still panting next to her. He obviously didn't have anywhere pressing to be. Do you have a name? He asked. Or do I just call you broken thing that is not a bird and doesn't play chase and doesn't taste very good? My name is Fidget, she grunted. Ophelia Delphinium Fidgets. I'm a fairy. Oh, he didn't seem too impressed. He probably never met a fairy before, even heard of them. My name is Dog, Stupid Dog. I am a dog. Ophelia squinted at him. That can't be your name, she said, even though she called him pretty much the same thing only moments ago. Oh no, I have lots of names. You can pick the one you like best. You can call me useless or mangy mutt or worthless son of a. He put both hands up. Okay, all right, I get it. Lots of names. How about I just call you? She stopped to think. She was no founder. She never had to name anything in her life. She looked around the alley and spotted an empty crate that once held something called Samuel Adams Boston Lager. How about I just call you Sam? Sam slapped his tail against the pavement. Oh, I like that. I like that name very much. I'm glad. Now listen, Sam, I'd love to stay and talk, but I'm on a very important mission. There's something I've got to try to track down. At the word track, Sam's ears perked. Oh, yes, I can help you, he said. Master says that is the only thing I am good at. Something interesting about this dog, isn't there? So let's stop there, page 147, and we'll pick up there next time. Thanks so much, sixth graders. Take care of yourselves. Bye.